Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Today, I decided to come on live at this hour to see how my streaming for my internet would go. And I decided to come on here and craft with you. I will be working with Daisy Girl Prayer Pocket with Bird. That's just Penny on Etsy. And I'm going to start off by showing you the beautiful kit. Excuse me. Okay, like I said, the kit is from That's Just Penny on Etsy. And oops, I'm sorry. It is called Daisy Girl Prayer Pocket with Bird. And I'm gonna put this over here so that you can see it. Okay. Sorry. I'm learning my setup here. Okay. So you could see it. And look at this beautiful image of this baby, of the little girl. Look at that. I'm going to bring it up. And this one it was designed to be a prayer pocket. And it has a scripture. It says Psalm 17:8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. And look at the beautiful layering. It has florals. It has the little girl. It has music. Look at this background right here, and then look at the background on top. Kind of look like a bridge right here, like a city. And then this is like a fleur de lis, but more fancier. It has the music, the bird, the flower. Whoops, sorry, the flowers, and then the scripture, and then the little girl's holding a bird with her cute little bonnet. So, because this has scripture on it, Penny has so thoughtfully included an image that is the same, but without the scripture on it for those that are not of the Christian faith or want to use this image and not have the scripture on it. So, this one is included in the kit as well. It's beautiful, very soft, very pretty. Okay, sorry. And then included in here would be like long journaling cards or bookmarkers. And here's the first one. It has like a lovely, I think it's Daisy, and then a bird cage and a bird. And then again, it's the verse with the girl image. Very pretty. I love the little girl. She's so cute. Now on this one, it has three little pieces of ephemera. I had printed it out before, and let me show you the difference. One, two, three, right? Okay. The original sizes are these right here. But I went ahead and shrunk them down because I think I want to do something else with them. And you'll see as we go along. So these were the original sizes, but then I went back on my printer and I printed them out smaller. And then this is the first one. I'll show it to you in the bigger one. Has vintage, a piano, birds, flowers. This is a postcard, the stamp, of course, the flowers, the lady, the writing, um, and then this one is another flower. And as I'm calling these things out, there is a reason behind that, and I'll share it with you in a minute. And so here are some little vocabulary cards that I call vocabulary cards in it, and they're little cards, and it has different words on them that we can use as embellishments. And then these are some more tags that she has provided for us. Journaling card, a bookmark with the same scripture on it with a bird. I love the two butterflies. Hello, whoever's watching me. Hi, thank you for joining me. So, the reason I was sitting here as I go through um, this digital kit, this is a process that I do while I'm doing deciding what to do or working on a design team project. What I do is I do that, right? Whoops, sorry. I usually do it just either in my head or I'll make a list. And so with that in mind, let me make a list. What I do is I go through the digital kit. Hi, Amanda. I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses, so I had to go up to my screen. Yeah, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining me. So, I was explaining what I do when I get a digital kit or a scrapbooking kit or anything that I'm going to work with. What I do is I usually make a mental list, or I will start making a manual list like I'm doing here. And what I do is I list what's on here. So there's a bird, there's a daisy, there's a little girl. What else do I see? I see the music. I see music notes, kind of like the city back here. It's like it has bridge. It has a bridge right here, like a roadway. So city roadway. I'm gonna put here. And then the colors are soft pastels, tan or beige. Postcards. I saw postcards. And so what I do, a bird cage. What I'm doing is actually helping myself by making a list. You can either do it mentally, see piano. What else do I see differently here? Postage, postcard. Oh, I did put that. Stamp right here in the corner. Okay, vocabulary words, and then butterflies. Oh, there is green also in the color. So what I'm doing is I'm helping myself. I am helping myself by making a list. Right now I'm doing a physical list. Sometimes I do it mentally. I will stick this on the side, and while I'm working with my project or deciding what project I'm going to do, this will help me get stuff from my stash, whatever I have. So if I'm working, I'm like, oh, this needs more stuff in it. I need more embellishments. I need more pockets. I need more journaling cards. I need something. It's lacking more substance or whatever it is. I will go over to my list and I say, bird, do I have anything bird? Oh yeah. Like right now I'm thinking, oh yeah, I have a bird stamp, so then I can stamp papers. Do I have anything that's a daisy? I do believe I have daisy stickers. Anything with little girls. Do I have anything with music notes? Well, I have music sheets. I have music notes. Anything with a bridge or a city or a roadway. Colors. Oh man, I want to put some lace on here, right? Or whatever. So then I look at the colors. I go, oh, soft pastels, tan and beige. So bam, I can look at my stash and I say, hey, this matches perfectly. So I'll put that aside, and then I start, messing with that. So that's why I make this list. Sometimes, like I said, I will do it mentally. Sometimes I do it just as is to save time. I have cut them out. The only one I do need to cut out is this one right here because as I had mentioned before, I um, this was the regular size that they came in, and they're fine. But I wanted to do them a little smaller, and I'm sorry, I'm still learning my setup. It's a brand new setup. Before I used to use my iPad, but I was having or continue to have, my goodness, technical difficulties. I will do even the lives. The other day I made a live and it never uploaded to YouTube. It was on live while I was live, but it just says processing or whatever. And yeah, it hasn't processed. It's been over 5 days already. So I don't know what that is. Somebody mentioned to me I need to check with my internet provider. Maybe it's not strong enough or something. Never had a problem, so I am going to check into that to see how strong it is, or I don't know. We'll find out. So I asked that you bear with me. I think I was off, right? I probably was off camera there. Because before I used to do all my mat, and now it's different because it's a different setup. So anyway, these were the regular ones that come in the kit, and I shrunk mine down. So I'll leave those there. Let me take another little tip is that when I'm working with things and I print them out, I cut them out and I put them in either Ziploc bags or file folders. But I am learning to work with these bags. Reason being is I can stick these inside of a file folder, but all these little things won't go everywhere. They're all contained. And then whenever I'm working, this will expand, right? You can really put a lot of things in there. So that's what I am learning to do. So I'm just going to kind of group these together and see what we do. I kind of started playing the other day, but I want to get into um, doing scheduled lives. It's just that I have to figure out what time is better for my internet connection, or I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties, like I'm saying, like I was said before. So bear with me, have patience. I'm learning, but we'll get there. So here are what Penny designed these to be, and they are prayer pockets. It's just basically a pocket that you're gonna fold over like this, and you make it into a pocket, and you stuff them with all the embellishments that she said that she put in her kit. I, however, fell in love with this um, image, and so I am going to turn it into a little journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut along, cut off these for the pocket. And then this one was, like I said in the beginning, she included the same image but without the scripture for those that are not a Christian base, faith based, or they just don't want the scripture and they want to work with the image without the scripture on it, which I thought was an awesome idea. Because like for myself, right, I although I am of Christian faith and I love to work with Christian themed items, some of my friends are not of the Christian faith. And so this is awesome because if I want to do this for a pen pal, right, I can do these for my Christian pen pals, and then I can work with the same image but without the scripture for those friends of mine that are not of Christian faith and prefer for me not to send them Christian faith, or don't like it for whatever reason. So I'm gonna move these out of the way. So I want to make this into two little journals, and I need to go get some coffee dye paper. Yes, Andrea, it is crazy. I have been having so much difficulties, technical difficulties. At first, I blamed it on my iPad. I said, well, it's an older iPad. It works great for what I use it for. And I said, maybe it's just because it's older and yada yada. No, my husband bought me a newer, not the newest, but a newer iPad to work on. And guess what? The old iPad uploads like within minutes. The newer model of iPad takes literally all day, like 24 hours to upload. That was one thing. Like then YouTube now changed the guidelines or something like that for going live. I couldn't do it on an iPad to be through a laptop, like the desktop app or whatever. And I had a hard time doing two, three, four. I'm looking for my tea dye paper, guys. One, two, three, four. Okay, no, that will give me 8. 5 times 2 is 10, 20. Okay. Let me put this back before I forget. And so now, right now, I am working with a laptop, um, and a webcam. This, the cheapest webcam I could find, just so I could go on live. So now, like right now, I'm on live, and afterwards, it tells you if you want to upload it or whatever, right? Whatever option. I can't think of the wording right now. So I say yes, and it's not there. Crazy. On the iPad, I was recording videos because I like to do my design team projects or whatever I'm doing. There's days that I feel better, or I can take less medication, so my pain medication, so that I'm more coherent, right? Excuse me. So if I do this, I'm working as I'm going. And then I fold that in half. Will that work? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to cut it in half. I'm trying to see. This is tea dye paper. um, that I have tea dyed. I love it. I do not put my papers in the oven because I just can't do it. Um, the bending or the angle or whatever really throws my back out. So what I do is I will sit at my table, which I had a video. That's another thing. I record the videos, and then when I want to upload them, uh, somehow the formatting is off and YouTube won't take it. So yeah, it's been an adventure. So what I do is I need to reshoot the video. When I tea dye my paper, I get two of my big cake pans, and by big I mean big. I have a half a sheet and a full sheet pan that I had when I used to do baking, right? When I used to bake cakes as a little side business, and I will take tea that I make in my Keurig, and this is what, 8.5, so 8.5, 4.5, 4.25. I'm gonna cut these in half. Did it cut through all of them? Woo, they're behaving today. Okay. My paper cutter is cooperating. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. I didn't do that because I did it on the wrong side, right? But of course, Thelma. Okay. Real problems of crafters. So 6, 5.5, 5 quarters. So I am going to do. Half, maybe half away. Okay, cutting again. And I save all my little scraps. So yeah, it's been fun so far. All I'm doing is cutting my pages. So it could be a little smaller in this when I cut it in half. And these are two. I'm gonna leave them up. So needless to say, I have been having technical difficulties, but we will deal with them as we go. Let me cut this. You fold this in half. As you're seeing, this is how I do my things. Before, I used to be real good at doing measurements and blah blah blah, but I have found that when I make journals, it is better if I just go with the flow. Meaning, I know I want this folded in half, right? So then I fold my papers in half, and then I play with the measurements as I see fit. And so this will be 2, 3, 4. So if I do 3.5, I do 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. I've learned to go with the flow, like I said. Okay, go this way. Another tip is I always go beyond the cutting blade, and then I slide it over to where I want it was 3. There, did it go all the way through? Yep, that's what I thought it did. So 3.5. Give me all these little scraps. The reason I go all the way through and then bring it back is because depending on the measurements, right? Some of them, there we go, will stay right at the line, and then some of the edges of the papers will curl up, and I don't like that. So I start here, I put it down, so this kind of grabs the paper, and then I just slide it over to where I need to go. So now these pages are ready to be put in my journal, and they're tea dye pages. So that's perfect. And how many pages was this? I think I decided on 5. Fold it in half, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So 5 times 4 is 20. It will be a 20 little page front and back for size. So that's one. Now this one, for some reason I cut it at the wrong place, but let me see if I can make it work. If not, I will go ahead and go get more paper. That's not a problem. It's too short. Okay. Will be perfect for the big things because I can make little um things on there. All right, I'm grabbing some more tea dye paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as I was saying, um, I do not oven dry my paper because it wreaks havoc on my back. When I cut papers for my journals, I like to leave a little border on the top, on the bottom, and on the side. Why? Because I like for them to be tucked inside of the journal. Also, if I decide, depending if I know already if I want to put lace here, would be the determining factor of how much of a border I leave here. Um, I don't think I'm gonna put any lace because I don't have any thin lace. The lace I have right now is either an inch or an inch and a half, and it's too much. The papers would be too small, like for a journal, at least in this size, right? So I like this one. So I'm just going to take one since I'm going to work on two. Okay, 7. And that was 7 long. So 7 long, and then the other way. 7. All right. So 7. Squash this down. Make sure they're aligned. I do not put my papers in the oven. It wreaks havoc on my back. So I put them in those big cake pans that I have, or you can take jelly roll pans or cookie sheet pans, something that will hold some liquid. I do my tea with water I get out of my Keurig. It's hot water. It comes out fast. And um, this way is and I buy the tea from the Dollar Tree. It's in a box and it's just iced tea. And I put however many I want for what I'm doing at that moment. And that sounds crazy, right? But I'll show you in my tea dye papers right here. Sometimes I just want this, believe it or not, this tea paper, and let me show you. It's from the same batch. This one, this one. Thank you, Andrea. And so this is from the same batch, and you can see all the colors that I get from it. Because I put 6 to 10, depends how much paper I am dyeing. Um, this is also 24-pound paper. Um, this paper, the darker paper, was left in there longer in the tea, so this was probably one of the first ones. I pour tea, I put the paper, let it soak up, and whatever amount of paper I'm using, I just dump all the paper in there. The reason I do that is because I get these different colors. And then you see here the side where it wicks the paper, like it draws in like a sponge, right? It's from the outside, it soaks it up inside. You get the nice little detailing there, the detailing here. See it? So yeah. And what I do is I just let it sit there. I have a little paintbrush, usually a foam brush, and I kind of paint the ones that I'm going to take out. I put them in the other pan that has nothing in there. And then I, oops, this one comes from over here. Oh, I think it was from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Oh, I was just folding this one in half. I put it in the pan that is empty, And what I do is I dry them with my blow dryer, my hair blow dryer. Why my hair blow dryer? Because it dries it fast, and when it dries, my paper is crinkly. Oh, and to the tea water, I add regular rubbing alcohol. There's a key. Why? It helps the paper dry faster. When I do it with the dryer, it gets that crinkly effect, but it stays flat. It's very flat. Then after it's dried with my, where does this one have more? One, two, three, four, five, six. What is going on here? One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Aha. One, two, three, four, four. I was right. And you know what? These are whiter than these. So I am going to trade some of these out over here because I don't want them to be so white. So one, two, three, four, five, one, two, three, four, and five. Okay, and I don't want the brown and brown. One, two, three, four, five. Perfect. So now I'm going to sew in my signatures. I use stuff to, where is it? I use embroidery floss. And because I'm using, it's kind of small, I'll be using this. I don't even know what it was called. I bought it and I did not know what it was. And it makes little holes. So it makes 1/16 of a hole. I think it's a brad setter because it's like super small, but it works for me. And I'm gonna pull out this little baby. Um, it is. Let me show you. It's the best little tool ever. It is a flosser for people that have braces. You find it where the floss is at Walmart. That's where I bought it. It comes in like in a little plastic thing. You get a million of them. I have no idea how many. But I put it into this shaped paper clip because as soon as I put it down, it will fly everywhere and get lost. But it is the best thing that I have found. Right, I have a metal. I need paper clips. I have a metal needle. I have a plastic needle. But I like that. This little doohickey right there, the brace thing, the brace flosser. I love to use it to bind my books and also to put very thin or any kind of ribbon actually through the whole of tags, especially the very thin one. So all I'm doing is grabbing these big paper clips that, believe it or not, I find at my local grocery store. I know, weird. I went everywhere. I couldn't find Joe ones. One time, I don't know what I was doing in the stationery or office, little section of my grocery store, and Lord and behold, they had these big ones. So this just makes a hole of 1/16, and now I'm gonna decide how far do I want it. I'm gonna make two holes. What I love about this thing, it has a little guide here, and once I set it, let me see. No, I need once I set it, the one on the other side will be the same length as the one here. But for now, I need to make sure that this is where I want my paper. Come here. And then I use the middle line as a, there we go. I use the middle line as a guide and then just poke the hole. And since it has a little measurement thing, it's going to be the same length. Go back, and I need to see it this way. Sorry, guys. Then I make the other hole. I'm gonna do the same thing with this. This one's already set. I just need to, good thing I saw it. I need to make sure these papers are all together. Okay. And again, make sure that you have them where you want them. I like to use these big paper clips to hold my stuff in. I have found it way easier. Before I used to do it freehand, not using the paper clips. And I found that the papers would move when I would punch the holes or was trying to bind in. And again, I'm making sure that my papers are where I want them, leaving the border on the sides, making sure that wherever I folded my paper in half, it meets the other one in the half, the little book. So I'll mess with them. Now I can do my holes. The little middle score line right there where I folded them in half will be my guide for this little hole puncher or brad setter, or I don't know what it is. I bought it a long time ago and I had it in my drawer. And one day it just dawned on me. I'm like, hey, you can use that to bind your books. And I like that it makes a little hole because when I use the embroidery floss, um, it works out really well. Somebody said I was watching a video, Linda Israel, where she uses wax linen thread to bind her journals. So I'm in the process of buying some of that. So the measurement for the string is 3 times the length. So 1, 2, 3, and then I always leave a little tail. And I'm gonna use my fabric scissors because if not, this thing will fray. I'm doing 2 journals right now. So again, I leave a little tail. 1, 2, 3, and then another little tail just for good luck. Let me put this back. Now, I am going to use this like a big needle. So I'm going to thread it through from the middle, top hole, through, all the way through. If you use a paper clips, I have found that most of the time you can get it through in one bit. That's what I found, especially in this one since it's not so bulky. You can usually get it through. But oops, don't let the thing go. You can usually poke it all the way through in the first try. So what I do is kind of make sure that the tails are the same. Since I only did 2 holes, it's going to be easy. You're just going to thread it through. Make sure they're even. What I do is I tug on these. Don't be so aggressive with it because you will tear your paper. Um, I cross them and then I kind of do a little turn. See, I cross them and do a little turn. Kind of pull at the 2 ends. With the other finger, I hold it down and then I will make a knot. I will hold this with this finger. There we go. There's one knot. Oops. One. And because I worked in the OR, I do it the other way. This one went this way. This one's going to go the other way. You're going to do it reverse. In other words, start with the other string. What that does, it locks the knot in place and it won't move on you. And then one more for good luck. And I leave tails on there in case I want to add charms or beads to them. Put those back. It's there. They can use it as a bookmark, etc. All right, one more. So that's why I like to use this little thing. I find it's more flexible than the metal one that I have or the plastic needle that I have. It's a lot thinner, especially since I'm using this. So again, I'm starting in the middle, all the way through the cover, and then from the cover all the way in and down. And because it's flexible, sometimes you do the holes and the holes or the papers move and they're a little wonky. With the metal one, I was finding maybe it was because I'm going to put this on here because I will lose it again. There we go. And this is just so that it could hold it. And so wherever I see this paper clip, I know my blue thing is. I would find maybe I was being aggressive or I don't know with the metal or the plastic. The plastic one wouldn't do anything, but the metal one would poke holes in my paper, the papers inside or my journal cover. So you could really see that I was struggling to put it through and I would end up having holes all over the place. With this one, it's plastic, so doesn't poke holes, and it's flexible. So if it's there, I can really, you know, wiggle it to find the hole, and it won't leave me any marks. So I really like that little thing. It's also very helpful in making, I mean, putting, again, I twisted it. I'm going to hold it down. Hold on. Then I'm going to, okay, tie a hole. Tie a knot. And then I'm going to use the other string to come across. So you're doing it in reverse to lock the knot. And then one more for good luck. I don't know. I don't know if it's good luck. I just say that all the time. Okay. We'll put these back. So, there in a nutshell, you have your two little journals. Bye, Andrea. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you get good news at the docks. So now um, we can decide if you want to corner around the corners. I do because I like this look. I'm going to corner around the corners. I'm using my chomper. If you don't have a corner chomper, you can just take your scissors and round them off yourself. If you want to be precise, then you take something round. For example, you know, the glue stick, the top of the glue stick. What you can do is put it in the corner, grab a pencil, make make your line, and then go back and do your oops, hold on. There you go. You see the line? You go back and you cut it with your scissors. Um, I was fortunate enough last summer, I believe. Yeah, it was last summer when I went to go leave my daughter at college. We went to Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby had been having a clearance sale for a while. In my area, I really didn't find anything. When I went in the city that my daughter is going to college in, to the Hobby Lobby over there, Lord and behold, they had this corner chomper that is still at my Hobby Lobby at regular price, which is $24.99. They had these clearanced out for six something. Yes, you heard that right, $6 and something cents. And so I was able to buy several of these. I brought, oops, is it this one? Yes. I brought this one that just rounds the corners in two different sizes, and then I also bought one that does decorative. I mean, not decorative. Well, decorative edges. One of them is a scallop, and the other one is a stub, like the ticket stubs, like the little notched out, and the other side is scalloped. I also found one that does like the little angles for the tags, and like I said, they were all six something. So for the price of this one alone, I paid for those four that I have. Three, yeah, I have three, and I'll show them to you right now. So keep an eye out when you go to the stores. Sometimes you can find things that you're not looking for. I mean, that you've been looking for on clearance or on sale or something like that. And I was blessed enough to find those at the store, at the Hobby Lobby, there where my daughter goes to college. Oops, come on, there we go. And so now when we go see her, when we go visit her, guess where I go? To the Hobby Lobby over there. And I have found a lot of cool things. Okay, good. All of them are corner rounded. Let me show you the other ones. This one does half and a quarter. This one does stub and scallop. And this one does a large angle and a small angle, like the little angles on the tags. And so they come in real handy. And like I said, for the three of them, I paid less than what I would pay for one. So now our two journals are done, blank journals. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the ephemera, right? So this one doesn't have anything. I will put this one and this one because it has scripture. This one doesn't have scripture. I put this one, it doesn't have scripture. I guess this one here. Yep. And then three, and some of these are bigger. They're still working. Okay, so I'll do big, big, small, big. Okay, perfect. Three and three. And then I'm going to divide this one each. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want them to have, I had cut some of these smaller, and then I have one left over, and I have one and one. Perfect. All right. So let me move that aside, and let's work with this one. So now we have a blank page, a blank journal, and now we can get to play around with these. Okay. So I have this one, and I think I want to put this here. That's why I had cut it smaller. I think I need to cut it smaller than that. So I'm just trimming now, make it smaller because I want to put it in. There we go. I want to put it here. One second as I clean up my area. This can go away. We won't need that right now. And right now we're working with that. Okay. So, oops, we're doing that. In the beginning, remember this little list that we made? I don't know if I'm on frame. There you go. The little list helps remind me of what elements are in there and what I can grab from my stash. And I remember quite vividly that there was music notes in there. So I'm gonna go in here and pull out some music paper. That I can use. Let's see if I can back this up. And that list. And I kind of like that because you'll see the music notes. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to glue here. Glue this down top of the music paper. So it could give me a little bit of border with, I know I'm off camera. Whoops, thing went fine. Okay, turn this around. Just so you can see a little bit of the note, the music note, all the way around. Again, kind of go around. Make sure I can see that music note. Just gives it one more little edge, one more little layer. Okay, get rid of this. So we are doing this. Perfect. I can put it there. Yes. Okay, now I want to add some excuse me, some, what's it called? Eyelash trim. And it was soft pastels because I'm referring to my list soft pastels, and then there were some greens. So I can either do either this one, but I think I have a lovely blue that somebody has sent me. I printed out these ribbon spools. Donna, no, not Donna. I'm sorry, Connie B on the white tee. Oh, but I don't like that color. The reason I don't like it because it has purple around it, and green and purple just don't go together. Okay. And so she had sent me some of these spools that she layered on cardstock and like cereal box. And I think I want this gold. And I found them. She had sent them to me as a file, and I could never um, get the file to download on my Cricut. But I found them online. I don't remember where. So I have been, all I'm doing is applying some fabric tack to the back of that little, no. There we go. Ah, it flipped over. Run my fingers down, fluff up that eyelash trim, and I'm just gonna put it where I put that little strip line of fabric tack, just so that it can hold it down for me. And I believe it just dried. Oh my goodness, come on, stick. It's just a temporary little stick. Okay. There's none there. Oh, there is. Come on now. You dried it too? Alright. It probably all stayed on my mat and it flipped over. There we go. And you flip it over, and you kind of see where the eyelash trim is. Kind of mess with it. You put it where you want it. Like all this eyelash trim is coming out. The other way, so that you can stick out. Alrighty then, Mr. Fabric Tack. Was all this way. Look, I see it on my mat. Alright. So, what are y'all up today? Are y'all crafting? Have you crafted today? I decided to come on here and show you how I do my design team projects. This one is going to be for That's Just Penny. And like I said, this digital kit that she designed, it was for a prayer pocket. But as I often do, I like to take things and use them in another way, do my own spin on them. And so I really, truly liked the image of a little girl for a journal. So that's what I'll be doing. So now I'm going to put this here, kind of swash it down, hold it down just a little bit so they can grab. And so now it has eyelash trim there. If it's a little furry, go back in there and trim it up. Who says you can't? It's your creation. Make it smaller. I don't want it as long because it's distracting to my eye. I want them to pay attention to the bird cage on top. I want them to pay attention to the bird image on the bottom. This is just me. If you want it nice and furry, long, whatever, however you want to say it, then leave it on there. So there we go. I put that there. That's one element. Now, what I want to check is this one's going to go in here. And I think this is longer than my page. So I'm going to cut around. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go with the flow. I am going to leave a border around it of the pink. And here I am going to have to cut off a little bit of the bird cage image. That is fine with me. It's my creation, and we tweak it and we cut it and we do as we see fit. I think that's one of the reasons I like to make journals, right? Crafting, because I make up the rules. Okay. My med just hit me. I took less today of my med to see how I do on it. I felt it. It just hit me. So now I can use this as a corner tuck. And now we can have a corner tuck there. I think that's what I want to do, but I want to put it. Where's my little fabric scissors? These little white fabric scissors were given to me by a friend of mine, Liz. I still have the scissors you gave me. Um, they are awesome fabric scissors. Everybody in my household knows not to mess with my those little white scissors, my fabric scissors. Well, actually, they don't mess with my scissors at all. If they need a scissor and if they need a scissor and they can't find their own scissors, because guess what? I bought one when my daughter lived at home. She had a pair of scissors, and my husband also had a pair of scissors because nobody messes with my scissors. Because I take care of my scissors. I do a lot of crafting. I use a lot of materials. Um, so, for example, for a pipe cleaner, right, that has a wire thing in there, well, I have 10-hole scissors. Right? I have these small ones, and I have the big ones, so I can cut that with that. If I were to cut the pipe cleaner with this one or this one, I would have every time you will go cut, you could feel where you cut that wire because it actually damaged the blades. So they know not to mess with my scissors because Mama won't be happy because it's my tool. Like I tell my husband, you have he has tools, right? He does electrical work or whatever he does. I don't know what. He has tools. I say, you don't take your wire cutter and you don't go cut, you know, the grass with it. Why not? Because it's gonna rust it or whatever, right? Okay, same thing with my. So I know I'm funny, but it's all right. So now what we have, we already did this one. We have this. Oh, you know what? What if we make a little pocket with this right here? Okay, let's do that. So the pocket needs to be measuring the width. It's 3.5, so I want like a 3-inch pocket. So if I want a 3-inch pocket, and I need half, hold that right there. I need a 1/2 inch right there. I need one of these. I really love this scoreboard. I bought it. Again, I found this scoreboard at the city where my daughter goes to college. So now I can measure from 3. You measure your 3 inches, and then you